I'm at Schreiner's Iris Gardens today with Steve Schreiner. And Steve, we have to talk a little bit today about the winter and winter on iris. So kind of a tough year?
Well, as we all know, it was an extraordinarily cold winter, but irises can take cold weather. As Dad used to say, they can even grow in International Falls, Minnesota.
Wow.
So now we don't even cover our iris anymore like we used to in the old days, and they get through the winters but it helps to have them a little deeper. So we have raised beds, so with the rains we had and everything, as long as they're not sitting in water, they're going to be fine.
So that was my next question. So
Yeah.
the rain doesn't bother them, just so they have good drainage and not a lake around them.
Exactly. Drainage is really important. That's right.
So what about care for this early in the season? Usually we're here and all of the irises are blooming, which will happen in a few weeks, but what do we do now before they bloom?
Well, iris are prone to slug, so you can't just ignore that. So we start putting slug bait out in February and just monitor it. And so that's important. And now, which normally April 1st, actually it's not quite now, April 1st, a month before the tall beards start blooming, is when you fertilize. And we sell our own bag of fertilizer made up especially for us, our own mix, which is a low nitrogen, well-balanced fertilizer. And that's ideal to put on now. It covers 25 iris.
Oh, that's
25
a lot.
iris,
Yeah.
so yeah.
So really, if you want to come out to the gardens now, you can get the fertilizer, and you can also pick up catalogs, which
That's
are
right.
really important.
This is our mini catalog that came out, I think, in January of this year, 12 pages. And it's beautiful, and it includes one of our introductions, Rum is the Reason. And then here's our 72-page catalog with our 17 introductions inside, along with about 30 other new iris that we bought from other hybridizers.
Wow, and there is a very special one, so you got to tell us about the special iris this year.
Yeah, that's right. That's probably one of the reasons we're here. Should we open up the catalog and show it to them?
We can? Okay.
So the name of it is coincidentally Garden Time.
All right.
And it's a bright yellow one. Who cannot be attracted to a gold iris like that? There's certain days where it's just luminous in the garden. You know, a lot of people say you just have to have yellow in your garden. Mm-hmm. I think what's really interesting, because I like history, the first yellow tetraploid bearded iris was introduced in 1926. It was hybridized by the great W.R. Dykes, and it was introduced in 1926, a year after he died an untimely death. And then another interesting thing about yellow irises is there has never been a decade like the 1940s when so many great irises of one color, yellow, were introduced.
Wow.
It was in the 1940s. The first really good Schreiner's yellow was Golden Sunshine in 1952. And Garden Time, this great iris, is a child of the Dykes Medal winner, That's All Folks, which was hybridized by Bill Marriott of California, whose daylilies we're now starting to sell this year.
Wow.
So he was a great hybridizer, and so our Garden Time that we crossed has That's All Folks as one of the parents. So.
Well, really, I love that history, and Steve is the historian here. So really, you have to go to the website and find out how to get down to the iris nursery, pick up your catalogs, maybe order the Garden Time iris. There's some things blooming here. It's a beautiful garden. And then make sure you mark your calendar for the Iris Festival that's starting in mid-May. Thanks so much, Steve.
May 12th, Mother's Day weekend, that's when we're open, and so we hope to see you here.
Definitely.
Thank you.